All right, hey everybody. Hello YouTube. How are you doing? I just want to give everybody a chance to join me live here today on Thanksgiving. I felt like this would be a great day to actually broadcast this particular topic. And I will get started in just a minute, but I am very appreciative for everybody who's actually watching live. And for those of you who are watching the replay, hello to everybody. I've got to do better at replying to my messages here on YouTube, which is why I decided to go ahead and do this broadcast here. So please, as you come on in, introduce yourself. What I'm currently doing is I'm going to my LinkedIn and my Facebook just to allow people to join me today. But I'm excited. And so we're going to get started in a minute. I'm excited because I think this topic is definitely needed. And many of us are dealing with this. And I want to be able to share with you guys my experience. And if you have not had a chance to watch my video where I actually shared my truth about going through depression and pushing through it, it is also on my YouTube channel as well. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel and definitely join me in different things. And so let me just introduce myself. My name is Taria Avant. And what I do, guys, is I work with entrepreneurs. Professionally, what I do is I work with entrepreneurs and I show them how to write books for their business to build multiple streams of income through coaching, public speaking, hosting events, things of that nature, and leveraging their books. And for me, as an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, I can tell you guys that the world of entrepreneurship is very difficult, right? It's a lot of ups and downs, goods and bads, all that stuff, right? Let me make sure y'all can hear me too. Goods and bads. Okay, good. So it's a lot of ups and downs, goods and bads, all that stuff that comes along with being an entrepreneur. It can be kind of stressful being an entrepreneur, especially when you're working with so many different people, with so many different personalities from all different places of the world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I've been an entrepreneur, well over, my goodness, I've been an entrepreneur for more than 15 years. I haven't always had success as an entrepreneur. It's been less time of success, but I have been out here on the grind for a long, long time, darling. And, it's definitely been a lot of learning curves. In a year of 2000, and I want to say about 12, 13, 14, around that time, is when I went through some really, really bad depression. It wasn't the first time, though, that I've ever been through depression. And it just was, so much was happening in my life. And I had so many challenges. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that depression will show up in your life for different reasons. And for me, it happened because I was just going through so much, not just in my business, but in my personal life. And so before we get into this, I will say that when you are living life, right? When you're living life, you will be attacked in 4 different areas of your life. And you might want to write this down. So if you haven't grabbed a pen and paper, I would encourage you to grab a pen and paper so that you can be able to reflect upon this after this video. But you will be attacked in 4 different areas of your life. The first area of your life that you will get attacked in, throughout your whole lifetime, okay? It's not just one time, is going to be in your finances, okay? Your finances will be attacked. And I want you to understand that no matter how much money you make, new levels, new devils. Just because you make $1 million don't mean that your finances don't get attacked. It's just a different level of attackism, right? That's a word I just made up, attackism. And so your finances. The second area that you will be attacked in will be your health and wellness. Okay, and so, around this time of the year, this is Thanksgiving that I'm actually recording this video. It's actually the day of Thanksgiving, and I wanted to shoot it on this day for anybody that is feeling alone. But on this actual day, it's flu season. You know, a lot of people are dealing with, I mean, me myself, I just left, I have been battling, of course, as soon as I talk about it, it would show up. But I have been battling some health and wellness now for almost 2 weeks. And, you know, I just, ooh, Jesus, like, right? I had to push through it, but I finally went to the doctor, and he just gave me some antibiotics, but I just wanted to make sure that it was nothing. But you will be attacked in your health and wellness. The third area that you're going to be attacked in is going to be in your relationships. And I don't know about y'all, but you know, it's so funny that I'm even sharing this, because over the past couple of weeks, my relationships, there have been challenges within my personal life and even in my business life. And that's just what happens in life, right? You're going to have challenges in those areas. And then the fourth area that you're going to be challenged in will be in your spirituality. And so a lot of times, guys, you know, some of you may be dealing with, some of you will be dealing with all four at one time. And that's when I feel like depression really sets in, right? And so you'll be attacked in all four. Some of you will be attacked in just one or two. But, you know, I personally can tell you, when I went through the worst times of my life is when it seemed like all four were coming at me. And so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about also how you can identify if you are depressed, because a lot of times people, you know, they feel ashamed. And the purpose of me doing this video, first of all, is so that you can know that you're no longer ashamed if you're going through depression. I'm so sick and tired of people making someone feel a certain kind of way because you're going through a mental illness. And trust, and depression is a mental illness, along with anxiety or any other kind of mental illness that people are dealing with. And it is also something that is a chemical imbalance that's taking place within your body. And so you have to be able to fight this. And if you're going through some of these symptoms, then you might be going through depression. And it's okay. It's okay. You know, I come from a community where when we don't talk about depression, honey, you got to put that up to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You got to get some scriptures out. And for me, that wasn't working. Like, the scriptures wasn't working. Talking to, you know, certain people wasn't working. It was not working for me. And so I'm going to go over that. Hold on one sec. I'm typing this because I want to email my list to let them know to also join me. I'm doing a live broadcast right now for anyone alone that may be going through depression. Nothing to do with business, but everything to do with living. Okay, join me. So anyways, this is actually very impromptu. I decided last night after leaving church that I was going to do this video because I know that there's just a lot of people that are going through this right now. And if I know anything about, you know, doing something alone, honey, look, I'm here to let you know I have gone through this, you know, by myself, and it was not something that was easy, and it was a responsibility that I had to take to make sure that other people knew that I was going through it and how they could help me. So let's talk about some symptoms. Now, this is in my book, Depression: 7 Ways to Live and Let Go. And I'm going to actually give you guys a free copy of this book. Okay. I did used to sell it. But I found that, you know, the topic, the title itself, depression, again, left people with a little bit of, you know, I don't know, embarrassment. And the reason why I'm so open with sharing me going through depression is because I don't want people to be embarrassed. I don't want someone to feel like it's not okay for you to share what you're going through, because there's so many people that are making decisions to take their lives by secretly dealing with this. So never be embarrassed, okay? So I'm gonna give you in my book, there's WebMD symptoms, and then I'm gonna talk about the Turia symptoms. So see, this is a part from my book. And the WebMD says feelings of guilt, worthlessness, helplessness, or hopelessness, loss of interest or pleasure in usual activities, including sex, difficulty concentrating and complaints of poor memory, insomnia or oversleeping, appetite changes, which include weight gain or loss, fatigue, lack of energy, thoughts of suicide or death, slow speech, and slow movements. Now, I'm here to let y'all know, when I was going through depression, honey, and even when I go through depression, I do feel a lot of these symptoms. And so if you've ever felt any of these symptoms, you might be going through depression. Now, the symptoms that I also added to Reavant symptoms were uninterested in anything, sadness or feeling of worthlessness, enjoyed being in the dark, discouraged to be around anyone, great at masking my emotions, dependent on substance to numb my pain, which was for me wine, lack of energy, and daily thoughts of suicide or death. You know, I constantly thought about leaving this world. You know, I had been in a position where my mother, my birth mother, she passed away when I was 11 years old due to cirrhosis of the liver. She was an alcoholic, and I grew up with her for the first part of that, 11 years. My mother and father were together, but both of my parents were in the Air Force. And so my father would always have to leave 6 months out, 6 months in. And so I never got a chance to really travel like a lot of military brats out there, right? But I grew up with my mom going through this alcoholism. And like, I just remember, even at this age today, like I remember when she would be, completely drunk. One time she woke up and she was saying like she couldn't see, and I'll never forget, I had called the 911 because I thought my mom had went blind or something. I didn't know. And when the paramedics got there, she was just drunk, and the house was a mess. I'll never forget it. It was like yesterday. The house was a mess, and she was sitting on the toilet using the bathroom when the paramedics came in, and she really didn't even know what the hell was going on. Because any other parent would have been like, why the hell did you call the 911? And they left, and I remember she was saying like, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm good. And they left me there with her. And I remember sitting there like, y'all just gonna leave her here like this? Like, and then all my friends, the neighborhood, everybody was outside my house just trying to see what was going on, being nosy. Like, I remember dealing with my mom, but she was the sweetest soul ever. She was the most beautiful soul. It's just she had an addiction. And then my father, he ended up passing away when I was 26 due to lung cancer. He was also an alcoholic, but he was able to get clean. My father taught me so much, though, about just perseverance and pushing through and never giving up and just making a decision to do better. And so he passed away. Then, I moved to Atlanta, started a business. We're doing great. I thought I found the love of my life. It was just so much. You got to watch the video. And I'm not sharing this for a pity party, because a lot of times people share their stories so people can pity them. I'm just wanting you to understand the state of events that were going on in my life, where their depression had fell in. And at the point where I had the suicidal thoughts was a time when I was in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I never really shared this except recently, this particular story. And the reason, again, I want you guys to be okay with sharing your truth. And you got to share your truth once you've pushed through it. And even if you need to go to a group, and I'll tell you about different things that you can do to get through this, do it so that you can share it to that group versus sharing it to everybody on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube who honestly don't give a damn. Let's just be real, right? And so I'm sharing this because I want you to be able to know that you too can push through this. So anyways, I was in Las Vegas at this conference. I was in network marketing. And at this point, I was done. I was done, y'all. And I did not want to live. And I was a top leader in this company, and I couldn't even afford to stay at the host hotel because my income had dropped so bad. It had gone back so bad. And I was staying at the SLS Hotel in Las Vegas. It was brand new. I'll never forget, though. It smelled like smoke. It was horrible. But the SLS in Los Angeles, honey, is a top-notch hotel. So I was like, well, if I can get the discount, I'm going to stay the discount. And so they had a train that would go straight from that area right to the MGM Grand, which is where the hotel was for the conference. That's where all the leaders were supposed to stay. Well, anyways, honey, I thought I was doing at the SLS, just side note. But anyways, at this point, I was just done. And I remember even reaching out to one of my leaders and telling him that I no longer wanted to live. And he did not reply. And I'm telling you, because if you know anybody going through depression, because this is not just a video for anybody going through it, this is for people that have loved ones that are going through it. And the response should never be to ignore. And I told him I no longer wanted to live and I wanted to die. And he did not reply. And so then I went to the store and bought all of these sleeping pills. Now, one thing about me that's crazy, and I think I got this from my father, is that I don't like to do anything like, so I don't want to do anything dramatic like that unless there's like a guarantee. Now, in life, we know there are no guarantees. In business, there are no guarantees of success, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm a believer that if it can happen for one, it can happen for all, right? And so I don't know. Are y'all chatting here? I don't even know if people are chatting here. I guess not. You guys are just watching me. So I went to go do research first to see how many people have successfully committed suicide by pill. And I found out that the statistics, it was like really nobody, like it was a few, but most cases, people just end up extremely ill. And I was like, oh, hell no, like I'm not gonna do that. And then everybody know I tried to kill myself and it didn't work. And then, oh, that's even worse. And so then I looked at other ways that people can do without it being like painful or the chances of it not happening. You had to jump off of a building. Honey, I'm afraid of heights. I'm just not gonna do it. You got to shoot yourself. I got a gun now. I barely like to even touch it. It's like, who has a gun? And look, I hate the gun, but I can use it, but whatever. And so every way to do it, I was either too afraid or it just was not a good success rate. So I asked God, what do you want me to do? What's the next step? Because if this ain't gonna happen, what's the next step? And I will never forget, y'all, when I went to the conference the next day, this is why I'm gonna tell you it's so important that people know what you're going through. Because everybody always looked at Taria as she's just this powerful, strong woman, don't have no problems. Nothing's ever wrong with her, right? She don't need, she's the lift up or whatever. And, he probably just didn't believe that I was serious. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you what you need to do. So when I went to the conference the next day and I was like, well, I guess I can't do that. He asked me, talking about, are you back? And at that point, it pissed me off. But I'm going to tell you why he said that in just a minute. So let's talk about some reasons why you may go through depression. So you hear my story. This is when and that's when I was like, all right, Taria, if you can't kill yourself, girl, you got to suck this shit up. And now you got to live and you got to have a reason to live. And that's when I made a decision I was going to have a reason to live. All right. So let me just check to see if y'all can see. Because nobody's leaving comments. So, okay. Okay, Erica. All right, good. Erica, thank you so much, Erica, for commenting, because I just wanted to make sure people could see what I was talking about. All right, so let's talk about some reasons why you may go through depression. Well, first of all, it can be genetics. Our culture, just think about, I don't know, whatever nationality you are and whatever you've gone through and what your ancestors have gone through, it passes down. Believe it or not, and good morning, Erica, what your ancestors have gone through emotionally, that can pass down through generations. And so now it's not okay to use it as an excuse, but it is good to know that this is something that you didn't have to do nothing to get it. It just happened. Also, a chemical imbalance. So while I was going through this depression, I also I went to go to counseling. I went to go to this retreat area. And one of the things at the retreat area, she told me, is that you probably also have a chemical imbalance. And that probably has everything to do with your nutrition, which is another reason why somebody can go through depression. You're not eating the right things. You're not having enough of the right nutrients coming into your body that your body needs to be stimulated in a way that can bring happiness. Yes, depression is absolutely serious. And thank you so much for joining me here. I'm trying to, and I meant to look at your comment, but I apologize. I will make sure to go back to it. But please keep on commenting, share this video, make sure that you subscribe as well. So your nutrition, also hormones. You know, a lot of women, you know, when we're going through pregnancies and things like that, a lot of women deal with PTSD. Is it post-traumatic stress from pregnancy and postpartum? That's what it's called. Postpartum depression is real, and women go through that, right? And let me tell you something though. I don't believe though that statistically more women go through depression than men. I think that there's equally a number of men who go through depression as well. So definitely, I believe that yes, menopause messes with our hormones, even, you know, hormones through men have times of their life where their hormones are changing as well. Post-traumatic stress disorder, and for me, I think that was one of the number one causes for me going through depression. And if I can, I'm going to share with you guys a big fear that I've always had. And what's crazy is I'm naturally an introvert, and so I like to be to myself. I just don't like to be alone. So I'm not a big talker when I'm out, when I'm not working or when I'm not broadcasting, because a lot of people think I'm one of the most outgoing personalities. And when they meet me, they're like, ew. You know, like a lot of times that's what I get. Like I'm quick to go to an event and I'll sit at the back of the room. I'm not the girl that's going to be walking around a conference and just shaking everybody's hand. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not even going to go. I might know someone and won't even walk up to them to say hi, because that's just not my, it's not because I don't like them or I'm being fake. And my personality, that's just who I am. It takes a lot of energy when I do what I do, broadcasting and stuff like that. And so, and hello to everybody that's joining us. So post-traumatic stress disorder, for me, that was where I believe a lot of it came from, you know, from losing my family, losing my mother and my father, feeling in a state of, the fear. My biggest fear is that I'm going to be alone. And it's crazy because I enjoy being to myself, but I don't want to die alone, if that makes sense. And so I've always witnessed so many people that I care so much about, they die and leave me here by myself. You know, my grandmother passed away, who after my father passed, I felt like outside of his fiance, which I now call my mom, she was like the only other person I felt like had unconditional love for me. I feel like a lot of people that are around me, or felt like a lot of people that were around me, were only around because I was making the money. I had the nice car, I had the nice clothes. They knew that when we go to the club, I'm not waiting in no line. I'm just going to pay for us to just get straight in because I don't like to wait. Like they knew I was going to have a good time. I felt like people were around me because of the success that I was having. And I felt like as soon as I did something wrong, if I said something wrong, you know, conditionally, people would make a decision not to be around me. And I got so tired of, you know, questioning. I mean, I was always questioning people that were around me. And sometimes even to this day, I do that. I question people that are around me. And so for me, that post-traumatic stress of losing people that I loved unconditionally, that were there for me, no matter how good or bad I was, I felt like I no longer had that. I felt like nobody would be here in this world, with the exception of my dog, who loves me unconditionally. I could pop him because he did something bad, and then tomorrow he could be right here. And so, you know, I mean, but then I had to stop with this pity party shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Curtis, nobody really wants to be alone. And I don't know anybody that would want to. But if for me, I had to make a decision, Taria, okay, well, you got to get over this some way, right? And that's what I did. And then also your physical health, y'all. You know, look, I'm going to tell you, you've got to take care of your body. If you can't get to the gym, figure out ways to work out. I found that I was in the best emotional state when I was consistently in the gym, and not just doing a whole lot of running or lifting weights. Like when I was doing yoga, when I practiced breathing, when I practiced meditation, things like that, working on my mind, body, and soul. And so I'm telling you guys, those are some of the causes to depression. Now, how can we push through depression, right? How can we push through it so that we don't have to consistently deal with it? Now, let me explain something to y'all while I sip on this tea. One sec. So this tea that I made, by the way, It has ginger in it, organic ginger, organic lemon slices, and honey that I had, local grown honey, and just some Lipton tea. But it is so good. And it's been helping me. But anyway, so let's talk about how we're going to push through these challenges of depression, right? We got to get over this. How can we get over this? And by the way, let me explain something to y'all. Depression is something that you're going to battle all the time. All right? Not all right, but don't get hung up on the fact that, okay, I got through this. It comes back. I deal with it consistently. But the great thing, and it's so exciting because we have a book that we're working on, and this is not me trying to plug the book, but one of the young ladies was saying that what I love so much about the fact that I've been able to overcome it is that when I feel it coming on, and I feel those symptoms that I had spoke to y'all earlier about, when I feel those symptoms, I know the things that I need to do to get out of it. So let's talk about some of the things that you need to do to push through depression, okay? The first I'm going to say is take responsibility. I know this sounds crazy because most of us may say, well, I'm going through this because of what somebody did to me, or I'm going through this because of what happened to me. I'm going through this because of, these things that are happening in my life. This is not my fault. Well, let me explain something to you. I beg to differ. Because it's not what happens to you. Because remember what I told you. Life is going to happen to us all. And I don't care at what age. When you go back and look at my video that I did talking about depression, I have so many kids commenting on these posts. And I wish more of our babies could have a chance to understand that they're going through it and what they can do, because these kids are now turning to all of these drugs. They listening to this music, talking about all this Percocet and taking all these different things that numb their body, and they're killing themselves. And so as an adult, it's our responsibility. First of all, shame on us. Shame on us. Right? Hey, is that Tiffany? Hey, girl. Shame on us for trying to mask it and push it away, especially if we have kids. Because they're probably dealing with, remember I said it's the genetics. So they may be dealing with it too. We've got to start talking about this. Hey, boo. Hey, happy holidays. We got to start talking about this stuff, y'all. Because they're dealing with this. So we got to take responsibility. Stop having a pity party. And when I'm also another thing of taking responsibility, I was listening to this interview with Gary Vaynerchuk, and this guy, I forgot his name, but he's a big party. Well, he started off party promoting in the music industry. He's made millions and things like that. And they got into the topic of depression. 2 men. And he was talking about when he went through depression. And he was saying that, he was always known to be the guy. How about this? Think about this. Is this you? The guy or the gal? The guy or the gal? Right? Always known to be the one, Jasmine, and I'm praying with you, sis. Hey, LaWanda, how you doing? Are you the one that people always come to for help? Are you the one that always is the one known to be lifting other people up? Are you the Superman? Are you the Superwoman in a lot of people's lives? Because if that is you and you're going through depression, people don't automatically assume you're going through it. Does this make sense? Absolutely, Curtis. Overgeneralization, yes. We got to stop overgeneralizing everything. It's not that serious and it's not that deep. But you, as a woman or a man, if you're going through this, it is your responsibility to tell people, because people cannot read your mind. And don't be mad. Like, for example, he was saying somebody had passed away, his mom or dad or something like that, right? And he was mad because I know I've been through this. I would sit there and be like, how the hell ain't nobody called me? Nobody's called me to see if I'm okay. Somebody had passed away. And he was mad because nobody called him. But remember, he's always known to be the Superman, so people automatically assumed he was okay. And so he finally had a chance. He finally spoke to somebody, and they said, well, the first thing you need to do is go tell your wife. And so he went to go tell his wife, and he said the first thing his wife said, and he was like, my wife supports me on everything I do. He said, but the first thing she told me, she said, this is your fault. Because you're so busy being everything for everyone that people don't know that you're going through it. And so instead of masking it, you've got to reach out to people. Now, this is what I will say, because I did at the time of depression reach out to some people, but they didn't know how to handle it. And so I shouldn't have stopped. Does this make sense? I shouldn't have just, oh, well, he didn't respond, so forget it. Pity party. Nobody understands me. Nobody cares about me. These are the type of stuff I used to say to myself. And let me tell you what changed my life. So first of all, I had to take responsibility, and I had to share my truth. All right? So I joined a small group at my church. Now, I go to a non-denominational church, and anytime somebody reaches out to me and they tell me they're going through depression, that's probably the first thing I always recommend. Find a non-denominational church and join their small group or reach out to them. Right? And absolutely, people don't know that you're going through it. And then when they call you and they say, how you doing? Your first thing is, I'm good. So how can we expect people to help us if we're always pushing them away? So now the reason why I always say non-denom is because I don't know what everybody's beliefs are, but when I did reach out to people that were of a certain faith, everybody would always just throw scripture at me. And for me, that was not working because I was reading scripture. And for me, I was in a state of numbness, and none of it was being received. None of it. We talk about having faith, but being in a position where everything is going wrong, I didn't understand, how do I continue to keep praising him when everything was going wrong in my life? I didn't know how to do it. And reading a scripture was not going to help me. Okay? And so I had to join a group of people who did not know me, and they weren't going to judge me. And so being in that group changed my life, because I remember when I got a chance to share my story. Mind you, I'm in a group from a room full of people in a church where one is dealing with two drug addicts. Another one is dealing with not even understanding how to believe in God because his father was a pastor that abused people. And so he shared that. Then I'm dealing with, just all time. And when I got up and shared my story, and y'all should have saw me, y'all, I shared my story. I had not just crocodile tears, I had the ugly cry. Because I had not had a chance to let it out. Anybody that I talked to would just, Taria, it'll be okay. Just sweep it under the rug. Let it go. It'll be fine. You all right, girl. Let it go. And so I'm going to hurry up, though, because I don't want to be too long on this broadcast. But I got a chance to join this group and share my truth, and everybody just loved me. They just received me. They hugged me. Nobody tried to give me a scripture to read. Didn't nobody try to give me no advice. That was what I needed. I didn't want anybody to try to tell me what to do. I just needed to be able to let it out, fully out. Let it out. Look for non-denominational churches. They're everywhere. They're growing everywhere. And if you can't find one online, physically, find you something online. There are groups, right? Places where you can share your truth and just let it out. Another thing that you could do, guys, is start exercising. I know Erica said, hold on, let me get this cough drop. Erica said she's been exercising. Yes, guys, get out there and do something physical with your body. Get your body moving. Get your body moving. If you got to take some dance, don't do traditional exercise. And if that don't move you, go find you a dance class, a little hip hop, a little samba, something that's going to get your body moving. Because when you're in a state of depression, it's a numb feeling, right? It's a numb feeling, and you don't want to do nothing but sit at home and be by yourself, right? Get some sleep. Yes, roller skating is a good idea. Absolutely. Move. Find a way to move. Get good sleep. And it's hard to say that though, because when I was going through it, that's all I tried to do was sleep. Like, I didn't want to work or nothing. I barely left the bed. But I was self-medicating myself with wine because I couldn't sleep. So that's going to also have everything to do with your nutrition. And so you've got to figure out what are going to be the best foods for you so that you can be able to give your body what it needs so that it can rest. Because that's another thing. I wasn't giving myself any food. I wasn't eating. I wasn't eating anything good. I mean, I might eat something every now and then, but all I was doing was drinking wine. And so my body wasn't getting the nutrition that it needed. So of course it was just constantly trying to work and figure out what the hell is going on. And so of course I couldn't sleep, right? And do something new. Do something that you've never done before. Go, if you've never taken one of these painting classes, the paint and sips or whatever, go take a painting class. Go find a retreat with people that don't look like you. Go, I don't know, go drive around and sightsee in your city or your state. Do something new. Find things that are going on. Get out the house. I have to force myself because remember, I'm taking responsibility. So I have to say, Taria, you got to get out the house. So I would get out the house. I'll go find organizations that I could join that had nothing to do with business. Sometimes I need a break from business because in business, you get people that, they can stress you out, honey. Or take a break from your family or find a way that you can have some you time. But it all boils down to you've got to take responsibility. Get out of the pity party. Because if it's one thing I know, ain't nobody coming to save you. And I know that sounds tough. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. You have to make a decision to save you. You've got to make a decision that your life is worth living. You've got to make a decision that every single day that you're given another day to breathe this air, that God has a purpose in your life. We are all here for a reason. But if we spend our time focusing on what's not, we can never have what is. Focus on tomorrow. And this is so big for me. Goal setting for me is also something that stimulates me. And so I set goals for my personal life. I set goals for my business life. And I constantly focus on where I'm going. Because if I stay at where I am today, even right now in the life that I'm living, I'm in this, I just moved to a nice high rise, back to a high rise. I got my wonderful souped up Jeep. My dog is here. I've got great friends. My business is growing. Even in that state, I still have to focus on the future. I can't keep living in the past. I can't keep on being upset about him who hurt me. I can't be mad about her who left me. I can't do that. And so I've constantly got to visualize, and I'm serious, like do this for real. Like close your eyes and visualize yourself a year from now doing way better. How do you look? How do you dress? Who you dating or married to? Where do you live? You got to visualize your future because this current situation is shit. And if you don't want to continue to be in this place, you've got to get out of there mentally. So hopefully this helped you guys on this holiday season. I know so many people right now, if you're like me, you might be by yourself. And I'm actually going to go spend the holiday today with a friend that invited me over. That's another thing. Like, because I used to say, I don't want to go to somebody's house during the holiday. That's not my family. I don't want to see all of that. And then I got to go home to myself. Again, pity party. Pitiful Taria. Well, look, these people may not love me unconditionally, but they love me right now. And so if I'm being invited to go spend time somewhere, and if you're being invited to go spend some time somewhere, go do it. And if nobody invited you, guess what? Go find people that need help. Because there's somebody right now, if they could switch lives with you, they would do it in an instant. There's somebody right now who's looking at your life as a dream. And if that means that on the holiday season, well, we're normally by ourselves, let's go find a way to volunteer. Let's go find a way to get involved and be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. Hey, Kalandra. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for today. I've got things to do. I got to prepare for this holiday as well. I got a little work, and then I'm going to go head over to get some good eating. But I just want y'all to know I love you guys. For anybody, let me make sure that it's working real quick. Let me make sure. One sec. Okay. Think so. Yes, it's working. So for anybody that would like to get a copy of my book, Depression, 7 Ways to Live and Let Go, regardless if you're going through depression or you know someone who's going through it, I want you to go download it by simply going to my website. Bless you, Crown. My website is depression.showyoursuccess. Sorry, I got a cough drop in my mouth, so that's why my mouth is moving all around. But depression.showyoursuccess.com. I will make sure to add it to the comments as well. Depression.showyoursuccess.com. Thank you guys so much. Please share this video. Make sure that you subscribe for all of my entrepreneurs. I plan on making my channel be a combination of trainings, but also some real life shit, because we need to have those conversations. Like, I'm tired of everybody acting like they boo-boo don't stink, because everybody's boo-boo does stink. All of us go through life. And I think that's also an important balance to be able to help impact people in mind, body, and soul. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. I've got more trainings, more things coming up. And I pray and hope that this helps some people. If there's any children watching this, any kids watching this, please find a way. If you're in school, talk to your counselor and tell them what you're going through. If your family, your household that you live in, if the environment is not okay for you to share that you're depressed, then go to school. If you need to, figure out if there's a church or something near you, or I don't know what to tell you, baby, but tell somebody. Don't deal with this by yourself, okay? Don't deal with it by yourself. Tell somebody right away. And if you still tell somebody and they're not helping you, okay? And they're not helping you, well, I don't know, maybe reach out to me, okay? And maybe I can connect you with the right people that can help you. Because if it's one thing I can't stand to see, because as an adult, it's a different responsibility, but I can't stand seeing these little babies wanting to die because they're depressed. With that said, y'all, it has been a privilege to talk to you guys on this holiday. I love you again. Thank you so much. Good day. God bless.